Welcome to Mujeres Unscripted, where we amplify the voices of women through unique stories and shared identities. We're Christina
and Renee,
and each week we dive into candid conversations about culture, career, and personal growth.
Join us as we celebrate the strength and resilience that connects us all. This is Mujeres Unscripted. All right, everyone, welcome to Mujeres Unscripted. I am Renee.
And I'm Christina.
And we're welcoming you to this springtime episode of Mujeres Unscripted. We are officially in springtime.
Definitely spring break.
Yes, spring break. Woohoo! I love springing forward. I hate doing the back.
Me too.
I'm loving that it's almost
not a fan.
It's almost 7 and there's still all that sunlight. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So
I hate losing that hour though.
I know. But thankfully they've been doing it on our spring break, so we have that week to kind of get in the groove.
True.
So I do want to bring up a topic that we did talk about last time. And that was Gene Hackman's passing.
Right.
Last time we had heard, or we were on, they didn't know too much about it, just that him and his wife and one of his dogs had passed away.
Right.
So it turns out the wife passed away first from something called the hantavirus.
Oof.
Have you ever heard of that virus?
No, that was the first time hearing about it.
So apparently it affects the kidneys. That's all I could really understand.
Uh-huh.
So the reports that are coming out now are showing that she passed away first from the hantavirus. And of course, we don't know at 94 if he was bedridden and she was his caregiver. All we know is that he passed away from a heart issue about 7 days later.
Wow. Yeah, he was definitely older than her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, from the based on the pictures that I saw, she was definitely younger, but she contracted this, right?
Yeah.
And just got sicker and sicker.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cause my dad lives with me, and as a child, if I knew my parent was older, I'd be kind of checking on him on a.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what their situation is with whether that's their mom or not, I mean, check in on dad.
Yeah.
Check in on dad. Make that phone call every weekly phone call and check if he's doing okay, if he needs anything. But for no one to notice anything, it wasn't until the neighbors, right? Noticed that the dogs were still outside, and that's strange. But yeah, I mean, but that also means, getting to know your neighbors and being connected with your community will go a long way.
Yeah. Because even at that, they had said that by the time they were found, they seemed like they had been passed for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, if I hadn't heard from my dad in 2 weeks, I'm going over there. I mean, like I said, luckily he lives with me, but when he didn't, if I hadn't heard from him, I'd be at his apartment like, hey, you in there?
Yeah.
So that just, it just saddens me that's, hopefully there wasn't too much pain for either or. Yeah. Another thing or another topic, and I've spoken about this person before. That's Meghan Markle. Excuse me.
Oh.
Meghan Sussex.
You better get it straight, because she's going to go off on you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, she got a little bougie.
But, I mean, if that's your girl, because, I mean, she did that to Mindy. Well, first off, her show it's getting a bunch of mixed reviews. I wouldn't cook with the shawl tied around my shoulders. That's just me. And wearing white. It's just not me.
Oh, come on. Take it off. put an apron on. She had an apron on, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch that far. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a fan of hers, but Mindy Kaling was just kind of just talking about Meghan Markle eating a Jack in the Box, right? Like it's hard for people to believe, and she corrected her and was like, "No, my name is Sussex now."
Okay.
Which, if you're into history, guys, if you're not, that's not the royal family's last name.
No. She needs to stop.
I mean,
She needs to pull on those royal horses' reins and just chill. That's the reason why you left.
And so Sussex is the title, and
Yeah.
they gave up the title.
Yep.
So if she really wants to have the name, it would be the Mountbatten Windsor Mountbatten, whatever it is.
Correct.
And she was saying so she could have the same name as her kids or whatever. Okay, that's fine. But you and I have known each other before we've gotten married. We still call each other by our maiden names just because it was habit.
Yeah.
And
people look at me every now and then like, who are you talking about? Oh, it's, and I correct myself at that point. I'm like, and then they understand, oh, y'all have a connection before.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, so, but yeah.
But I wouldn't ever think to correct you or anybody else if, they called me by my maiden name. Like.
No. But that should say that, hey, we have a history, right?
Yeah.
And we know each other on a different level. And then people would be like, oh, they're authentically friends. They're good friends. So, I mean, that's how people know, like, hey, can I go to you about, about Herrera, or I can go to you about, whomever, but it just makes it easy, I mean, if you had a problem with me calling you by your maiden name, you would tell me.
Yeah, but
I
like it because when it's so funny. I can tell which kids were when I had students by what they call me, and it's so funny because I've had students within the same family. They still call me different names because one just happened to get me before marriage, and one happened to get me after marriage.
That's so cute.
But yeah, so that she's been getting a lot of, well, first off, it's like People Magazine is putting her in every week issue. And, again, they wanted their privacy, but let's make Netflix specials. Let's do covers of magazines. Let's do, so that's another reason why. And then now with the way, just don't call me that. My married name is, and then you get the married name wrong. So it's like, you don't even know your married name.
No, girl, go back. She's done her history, though, to understand. So go fix that.
Yes.
Go fix it. It's okay. Go fix it. Make her. But you can't leave. You can't refer back to a title that you refuse to do,
Right?
Or to perform the duties of. And then use it whenever you feel like, oh, how dare you disrespect me? This is my real name. No, that isn't your real name.
No.
That was just a title, and a title you left behind.
Correct. I agree. So,
sorry.
Yeah.
Any fans of, Markle?
The only thing I've ever seen her in is Suits. Did she do anything else?
No, just Suits.
Okay.
I mean, unless I'm wrong, y'all correct me out there.
Yeah, I just, and then she wasn't even a leading character in that one. So there you go on that.
There you go.
But there is a story out that's kind of in our area of work. I know you wanted to bring it up, so you can go ahead and.
Yeah, it caught my attention. I started looking at it this morning, while I, was just hanging out in bed and not having to worry about getting ready for work. and it was about a young lady, and maybe it's a couple of years old. I'm not sure, but it's about a young lady who got to the point of graduation, graduated from high school, and now is suing her district. It's a district out in the East Coast. She's suing her district because she doesn't know. Her claim is they did not teach her how to read and write. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right to me.
Mm-hmm.
And before I start blaming, teachers, I'll say this. I mean, I'm a parent. She's also dyslexic, and she also had another needs, right? And so, I'm a parent of a dyslexic, autistic son. So, I make sure his case manager makes sure
Mm-hmm.
that they're in constant communication with me. We all talk about the level of growth he's made from one year to the next. So my question is, how did this parent not know
Right.
that their child was struggling in those two areas? Where was the communication dropped? And because I really don't believe, I can't believe, that you can make it all the way to graduation and no one knew.
Right.
So I guess that's where I'm at right now, and it's kind of been on my mind the last couple of hours here. That
Well, I had read that story also, and again, I'm like, as a parent, because the first when I see stories like this, I look at it as a parent first,
right.
How do you not know your kid can't read? That means
Mm-hmm.
you have no, even, I'm not saying as, they have them sit there and read you a book or whatever, but a billboard or, the title of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest one that has autism, his reading has progressed, but, he's like at a first grade, second grade level, even though he's at the end of third grade. So he still gets excited when he can read certain words. And again, his case manager and all that kind of good stuff. But how do you not know your child can't read? That's my whole thing. Like, I'm not worried about the grades or anything like that, but just in daily life, how do you not know your child can't read?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just like, how, we ask him to read. I mean, he's always reading his comics. He's always reading his mangas. To us, that's a form of reading. So, we're in contact with his teachers, especially AP, ELA teachers, so again, how do you not know? It's kind of hard to, well, I mean, I know my older sibling was also dyslexic, and she hid that for a while until she got to college. And that's when it discovered, like, hey, you have, we need to help you with this accommodation and make sure that, you're not, kind of like hit hard just because you're dyslexic and that you're just figuring it out. And so, I mean, and then I know for a fact that, my sister tried really hard to use different techniques to kind of hide the fact that she was dyslexic, but she knew how to read.
Right.
She could still put words together and blend and all that good stuff. But, yeah.
Well, even our district, even today, like every Monday as a parent, I get an update on every single class, their grade. And what? So it's not like I have to go into a website or anything. Every Monday, I got it today. Every kid's class, every kid's attendance, I get. Yeah. So, I go through there. Oh, why do we got a 70 something? Why do we got a this? And then I talk to them like, hey guys, I noticed on, the email, what's going on. So I'm just like, did you not have that? Do you not talk to your kid? Like point blank, like do you just not talk to them? You know?
I mean, how proactive are you being as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, and not that no, I can't. I just really can't. I can't be mad at the teachers.
Because she has different ones every year.
Yeah,
But she has the same parents.
but she has the same parent.
You know, my 10th grader, she just got a new math teacher, and the math teacher noticed she was struggling. The math teacher had probably been there less than 2 weeks, and she already reached out. Hey, I see
Yeah.
that she's struggling. Can she stay for tutoring?
Mm.
You know, and I'm going to put on my teacher hat now. We've done that as teachers. If you see a kid struggling, you reach out to the parent.
Yeah.
So, going back to this girl's lawsuit, did you? I can't see not one of them teachers not reaching out for something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. It would be interesting to find out how many students are at a very low grade level after COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what I'm thinking. Like, did COVID kind of?
Yeah.
I mean, they were left to their own devices for what, 2 years, really?
Yeah.
It could have done some damage. Yeah, that's hard to believe.
Because I had a friend from high school, and she reached out to me that her daughter was struggling, and she had me tutor her. And now this girl loves reading. She loves, I think she's even like minoring in literature in college now. So she was a very proactive parent. She's like, I see there's something wrong. What can I do to fix this? And now this grown, she's a woman now, has a love for books and literature that she didn't have when she was younger. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It bothers me that she blames the district because, yes, the district is at fault to an extent. But, like I said, she's had the same parents her whole life.
Yeah, I mean, accountability goes both ways. Yes, hold people accountable, but if it's dealing with that, didn't anyone teach the parent? I don't. That's a great question. I am like dumbfounded because I just can't understand why you, the parent, aren't aware of those. I mean, I understood my own son's dyslexia, and I had to figure out the techniques he had to use in order to better his reading. And and once he figured out, once everything clicked, right, all those techniques clicked, he is an avid reader. So I'm like, okay, well, where's the disconnect? Where was the disconnect with this particular child? Wasn't anyone holding her accountable in making sure she was using those techniques?
Right.
Did anyone teach her those techniques? Again, But I mean, I know I took it upon myself to also become aware of all that, and watch him apply it.
Now, did he? Because I know when I was teaching reading, they had me use color films.
Yeah.
Did that help him?
Yeah.
Was he use those too?
Yeah. The pink and the yellow and the green. Yep. All of that.
And again, it goes back to trying all the different colors.
And he was pulled out in elementary and in middle school.
Okay.
So we made that accommodation. We didn't want to end with his dyslexia class, quote unquote. We wanted him to be pulled out of normal class to go learn those skills and techniques, so that when he does go to regular classroom, and he can participate.
Yeah.
But with some parents, it's such a stigma to be labeled dyslexic, to be labeled special ed, and I just don't. That's an advantage in my opinion,
Yes.
And not like in a competitive way, but an advantage for your child to learn those techniques and skills to be better learners,
Yeah.
right? But
And you know,
so that's why I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
I've heard other people say that they just want to label my kid. I'm like, no, you know, because I as a teacher, you know, even had to go through that stigma, like, oh, my kid has autism, my kid has ADHD, what? And then you start to realize how many kids actually have dyslexia, ADHD, or somewhere on the spectrum. Because when you and I were in school, they were in a whole different classroom the whole day. They rode a
Right,
totally different bus. It didn't matter what level of special ed they were on, they were all put together in the one classroom.
right.
Whereas now it's totally different. We know that it's just that they learn differently.
Yeah.
They learn at a different pace than everyone else. And you're right. I think especially in people of color, it's a big stigma. We can't have mental health issues. That's a big stigma. And we can't
Right.
have disabilities. That's another
Yeah.
stigma.
You know, and I'm glad you brought something up about labels, and I also saw something online, and it was a therapist who was talking about how a lot of people that we've come across lately
Mm-hmm.
are so tied to their labels.
Okay.
And for instance, ADHD, or like it, ADHD is what you're trying to um, kind of like not overcome. It's probably not something that you're going to overcome overnight with, but you're going to learn to live with that, right?
Right.
Dyslexia, you learn to live with that. Um, being, depressed, you learn to live with that. You are not your label. I guess that is the point that I
Yeah.
was trying to make. You are not your label. You are living with something, and you're going to learn how to cope with all those things. But she was saying something to the fact that we 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 are not that label, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is not what we should be living in. What we should be living in is in trying to um, cope and apply skills and techniques to overcome that, right? And to
Mm-hmm.
live a better life. And I just, when she made that, I was just like, you know what? A lot of our students and are just are so stuck to their labels. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, I, they told me I'm depressed, so I must be depressed every day and all day. Well, no, sweetie, that's what it means. It
No.
says there's something you're going through that causes maybe some lows, and we're just going to have to work through those lows, right? But you're not this walking cloud of depression.
Like you
I
see in
mean,
the
that's
antidepressant video commercials.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why I hate when
So
people say I suffer from depression or I suffer from autism. No, if you already have that negative mindset, then yes, you are going to suffer. But
yeah,
if you have that mindset is like when we talk about Simi, he just has autism. He just
hmm
has it. It's nothing he suffers from. It's just
correct.
it's just part of who he is and
Yeah,
his
the way he's
quirkiness.
built, but yeah, and I mean, I know with my son, yes, he is on the spectrum, but it doesn't mean he's going to live on the spectrum.
Right.
We're going to still teach him techniques to be independent and to live on his own, to know when, you have to do your laundry, bud, those techniques, right? I mean, the fact that he's going to be a driver soon,
Mhm.
where, yeah, you might be autistic, doesn't mean you can't drive, Bubba,
Right.
and of course, it's depending on the spectrum, but those are just things that I'm just, it's like someone woke up and told all the kids, by the way, you're all this, and now live it. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, what a sad way to live.
Yeah.
Especially when our kids right now take everything
To heart.
just to heart and negative.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can live with dyslexia and be happy and be
Yeah.
a happy kid. We could live with autism, and again, depending on the spectrum, we could still be happy, a happy family, in a home. Just
Right now, Simeon's very Sheldon-esque in that
Yeah.
that is what he said, that is what he understands, so therefore that is what it is.
Yep.
And I understand you don't think like me, but I'm telling you, and I'm going to keep telling you until you understand that's, and and I'm just like, buddy, I get it. You done told me 5 times. I understand. I'm understanding, buddy. I got you. But you still cannot have crackers at this time.
It's past 8 o'clock, bud.
Yeah.
It's past 8 o'clock. No more crackers.
So that's where he's at. So that's what we're working on, and people will see it as talking back. When we were younger, it would be talking back, but in his brain, he's just like, but you have to understand where I'm coming from, because if you understand where I'm coming from, you'll say yes to my crackers.
Right. It's his logic, right? His logic.
Whereas when we were younger, no adults cared about our logic.
Right.
If they said yeah, pues yeah, es yeah, or you're gonna get a spanking.
It's over.
Whereas for him,
yeah.
we know that he cannot live with himself if he can't get his logic understood by you. Mm-hmm. It's especially that where he has to knock on Penny's door 3 times.
Yes.
It's the same. It's just like, Mommy, you just have to understand. You just have to understand. This is where I'm. And I'm like, bud, I got you, but the answer's still no
you're
crackers.
letting him knock 3 times. You're letting him knock 3 times.
Yeah.
But after that 3rd one, then it's up to you to say, unfortunately, this is my,
Yeah.
This is my room and my door, and
But it was so funny. The first time he came up to us, he was like, "Hey guys, hey," and I think he was like 6. He's like, "Hey guys, can I talk to you?"
Sure you can.
We're like, "Yeah, buddy, what's up?"
What's up?
So, y'all said we had to lay down when it's dark, and see, this is the problem that I know I'm gonna have with this sunlight.
Yeah.
You say I have to go to sleep when it's dark, but it's not dark.
And he's right.
And I'm like,
and he's right.
I'm like, but buddy, it's 8 o'clock. You still have to go to sleep. Yes, but remember, you said that I don't have to go. And so it's just like, yeah, we get you. And then of course he still doesn't understand the concept of time change. So that's just but that is his type of autism. That's what he has.
Yeah.
And so he was very matter of fact, and sometimes you're like, okay, buddy. And sometimes you're just like, if you just don't go lay down right now, like, you're not getting a treat. Like, you're just not going to get candy at the end of the week. But yeah. And like you said, my kids' case managers, they are, if they ever have a problem, they message.
Yes.
It's
constant communication.
Constant communication. You were there when his case manager called me. I was in your classroom, and and she called me and she was just like, "What's going on at home? Why is he acting like this? We haven't had an outburst." She'll text me. She'll text Ephraim. And so it's that constant communication. But if the parent doesn't want that communication, because I've reached out to parents and I've had parents say, "Leave me alone. Don't email me."
Yeah.
What do you do after that? And so,
it's going to be interesting where that case goes. She's asking for $3 million from the district. Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. I'm going to keep my ear to that.
And then we have annual meetings.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, what is this? Why is this even okay?
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, it is 29.
Wow.
Yeah. It is 29.
That was a hot topic.
That was a hot topic because it's close to us in 2 ways. One, we are parents of special needs kids, and then also we're teachers. And we have seen teachers drop the ball, but not that many teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
but like you said, more will come out about this story. And we'll just
I'll keep it posted.
Yes, keep us posted. And yeah, spring break. Woohoo!
Spring break time.
Gonna enjoy a whole lot of doing nothing.
Nothing. Not a darn thing.
All right, guys. Till next time. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye, everyone.